everyone, this is Kiana and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like this video if you enjoy it. So as you can see, I'm already whipping out the almond tips because I'm going to be doing this really pretty design on them today, and you know almond is my favorite shape. So these are my matte glam polishes that I got, and I got so many like colors of these. I think I got over like 100 colors of the same brand, so their polishes are really good. So these are all the colors I'm going to be using, and I'm going to be doing them kind of like in a rainbow type of form. So I'm going to be doing them all in order. I was going to fit in some orange in there, but I decided not to. I felt like 5 is enough colors as it is, and on top of that I feel like it'll just make it more simpler. So right now I'm just taking the polishes, and these are going to be the base for my ombres, and I'm just painting them 2/3 of the way of the nail, and then I'm going to cure them under the lamp for about 60 seconds. Now some of the colors like the yellow here was a little too dark for me and not pastel-y, so I went ahead and mixed it with some white, and I also did the same thing for the purple as well because I felt like it wasn't pastel-y enough as well, so I mixed that with some white just to give it more of a pastel-y, more pale look. Now if you do see all this ink work on my left side of my hand, that's just henna. I was playing around with henna yesterday, so I did kind of mess it up a little bit on the thumb, so it might look like a hot mess a little bit. It was my first time doing it, so I know if it looks like a mess, trust me, I know, like, you know, I tried my best, but I think it still came out all right. Like, I'm not complaining too much. But yeah, so as you can see, I'm just using the purple and mixing that with the white just to give it more of a paler look, and then I use that for the pinky as well. Okay, so after doing 2 coats of the polishes on the nails, now I'm gonna go ahead and get to the pastel acrylic. So I'm gonna be using white acrylic as my base. Now for this idea, I was gonna mix some acrylic together and create like a pastel acrylic color to do the 3D flowers with, because I'm doing 3D flowers on these nails, but the color just wasn't coming out right. I tried using a more pigmented color like this one right here from Not Polish, just to see if I could deepen up the color a little bit more quicker and see how that turned out. And when I tell you, when I did a swatch on this one, it just completely marbled, which you'll see right here as I'm doing the swatch. So I dipped it in there, right? So you can see it's pink at the top, like hot pink, which it shouldn't be that color. But when I swatch it, you can see the white is at the top on the other side. So what happened was that the colors end up separating. So I just knew this wasn't going to work out because it just marbled up too bad. So my second plan was I was going to take some monomer and take some polish. This is the matte glam polish right here, and that's the color Pink About You. And I actually saw this idea on Instagram somewhere where a lady made some pastel colors by doing this. So she took some gel polish, she mixed it in with the monomer, and then she dipped the brush into the white, and it came out like this perfect pastel color. Now as you can see, it came out too white, so that means I had to add some more polish into the monomer. So I added some more polish in there just to make the color more pigmented. And then after the second swatch, it just came out perfect. It was like that touch of pink in there without too much pink. It wasn't too dark. And as you can see, it pretty much matched up perfectly. Now for all the other colors, they did not match up exactly like the color of the polish on the nails, which is totally fine by me, because at the end of the day, the whole goal is to get that pastel color. So I went ahead and I took that yellow, and the yellow matched up really good with the yellow on the nail, only because I used the same polish that I did on the nail like I did from the white polish. So I highly suggest using the same polish that you used, unless it's a pastel polish, then you want to use a darker polish like for this one, because the green that I swatched on the nails was already pastel. I had to use a different polish that was a lot more darker. But you can see it was too blue based, so I did have to add a little bit more yellow just to give it that more yellow base green, which it came out pretty close. So I went ahead and went with that. And then I just did the same thing with the blue. Instead of using the pastel blue, I use a darker blue, so that way when it mixes in with the white, it comes out to a good pastel. And it was pretty close as well. And you know, I just did that for all the other polishes. Okay, so I'm going to be using my favorite brand, which is Not Polished, and it is the Nude Me, which is one of my favorite nudes that I love using for fringe tips and ombres. So I'm going to be using it on this set today. So first thing I'm doing is I'm adding some clear acrylic on top of the nails, and the reason why I'm doing that is just to add some thickness, and also because I'm not using colored acrylic for this, I'm just using regular polish, which means it's going to be a lot more thinner. Adding that acrylic just help add some thickness, and it help balance out with the nude, because if I would just put nude on top of the colors, it's not gonna be well balanced as far as the thickness. It's gonna be all like super thick at the cuticles, super thin at the tip of the nail. So I like to just add a little bit of clear acrylic just for the thickness. So then after adding all the clear acrylic on top of the colors, I'm just going in with the nude acrylic and just blending that down onto the nail. after adding all the acrylic, this is how it turned out so far, and you can see the ombre is just looking so smooth right now. Okay, so then my least favorite part is filing and buffing. So right now I'm just shaping up the nail with the sand a bit and just making sure that the nails is nice and crisp. And also making sure that the surface area is nice and smooth, and if there's any lumps or bumps, or if the nail's a little too thick at the cuticle, whatever it may be, just, you know, fix it at that time. Okay, so now we're going to get into the 3D flowers, y'all. So I did not have a 3D brush. I could not find one. I don't know what happened to it. So what I ended up having to do was use one of my other brushes. I ended up using my art brush here from Madelone. And the thing is I still was able to make it work, but it was definitely more learning curves, because with these type of brushes, I don't know if they're made of synthetic or Kolinsky or what, but it just wasn't holding the monomer well, which it was hard for me to make a bead out of it, like a perfect small bead. So it took a few trials and errors to learn how to work with this brush to make the 3D flowers, but eventually I was able to get into the flow of things. It was able to make it work, as you can see here. Now, one thing that I did hate that happened was when I put the monomer inside these plastic containers, the monomer started eating through the plastic, y'all. Now, I didn't know this was going to happen because anytime I get monomer, it comes in a plastic bottle, but I didn't think that it was going to eat through these containers, which it did. So you can see on the left side, it literally started leaking because it was just eating through the plastic from the bottom. I think it was already a crack in it, but then it also made it worse because the monomer started melting the plastic. So I could see that's why it's so important to put it in glass containers when you're doing nails, because that can happen. So it was definitely a lesson learned for me. And you can also see later in the video that the purple one that I had there, and even the blue one, I think also started leaking as well because the monomer was eating through the plastic. But you know, it is what it is. You know, I had to keep it going. I was in too deep, and you know, luckily, you know, nothing happened where it ended up exploding or something like that. So, you know, we good. But I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all how I do all these 3D flowers for each nail. And yeah, I'm gonna just sit back and relax. So you can see on the purple side, it would just completely ate out. The monomer just went completely through the container. So what I did is that I was able to get the top part of the monomer. It was like a little layer left. So what I did was I just like lightly dipped my brush in there, and then I just still did the 3D flowers with that because I didn't want to really waste it. Like monomer is not cheap at all, y'all. Like monomer is very, very expensive. So when I tell y'all I did not want to waste nothing, I just worked with what I had, and I was just able to make it work. Okay, so then the last step to this is I'm just gonna add a little bling onto the flowers just to add a little pizzazz to it. So I'm also gonna top coat the nails as well. So what I did was I took some top coat, which if y'all know me, I use my iGel Beauty non-white top coat faithfully. So what I did was I took the same art brush that I had used for the 3D flowers, and I just painted around the flowers so that way the flowers would stay matte but the background would be shiny. And then I also took a dot of top coat and put it on top of the flowers to put the rhinestones on, because it was just not necessary to use glue, because with rhinestones that small, especially if you're only using one, it could get held up pretty well with just top coat itself. But if I was doing like a full bling, then I would use nail glue. But right now I'm just top coating the nails. I'm putting a dot of top coat on each flower, and then I'm just putting a rhinestone on top of each one. Alright y'all, so this is how the set came out, and it came out so cute. I absolutely love the 3D flowers on here. I've been wanting to do 3D flowers for a minute, so I was really happy I was able to do this set. And it's perfect for spring as well, because when you think of spring, you think of pastel colors, so this just screams spring all the way. And I absolutely love the rainbow effect on this as well. I'm so glad I was able to do this set, and I can't wait to rock this. With that being said, if you are interested in purchasing this set, this will be on my Etsy shop. The link will be down below in my bio, below my video. So if you are interested in purchasing it, go right ahead and check it out in my Etsy shop, along with all the other acrylic sets that I made from this video. And I'll see y'all on my next one. Don't forget to check out my other social media pages as well. Again, subscribe, like this video, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.